Chapter 3. The Pelican. A week later, Mr. Sullivan plans a trip to the Farallon Islands. He wants to visit the marine sanctuary and study the animals.
We can leave San Francisco on Friday afternoon and sail to the Farallon Islands,
says Mr. Sullivan.
I have to do a lot of work there. Then we can sail north to Point Reyes and Tamales Point. The North Coast is very beautiful. Sometimes you can see whales and great white sharks near Point Reyes. We can come back on Sunday evening.
Whales? Great white sharks,
says Kate.
Yeah, I want to see them.
Can I invite Carlos?
Asks Mike.
He's interested in whales and ocean life.
Of course,
says Mr. Sullivan.
We have 6 bunks. Tell him to bring some warm clothes. It's cold and windy in the Pacific Ocean.
Thanks, Dad,
says Mike.
This is going to be great fun.
He calls Carlos.
Hi, Carlos,
says Mike.
Do you want to come to the Farallon Islands on our new boat?
Wow, of course I do,
says Carlos happily.
When?
We're leaving on Friday afternoon and coming back on Sunday evening,
says Mike.
We can meet at Marina Harbor on Friday afternoon. Bring some warm clothes and your camera.
Wonderful,
says Carlos.
Thanks. Bye.
I have to go to the supermarket and buy some food for the trip, says Mrs. Sullivan. We need milk, eggs, bread, butter, jam, meat, vegetables, and fruit.
Don't forget the ice cream,
says Kate. On Friday afternoon, everyone meets at Marina Harbor. It's a windy day and there isn't any fog. Lucky is happy and barks.
Hello, Mr. Sullivan, and thank you,
says Carlos.
This is my first time on a boat.
I'm glad, Carlos,
says Mr. Sullivan.
You're going to have fun. Let's go to Pier 9. I have a surprise for all of you.
They follow him to Pier 9 and see the big white cabin cruiser.
What's the surprise?
Asks Kate.
Look at the name of the boat,
says Mr. Sullivan.
It has a new name,
says Kate. She looks at the big blue letters.
Now it's the Pelican.
Carlos looks at the new name and his eyes become sad.
It's bad luck when you change the name of a boat. Very bad luck,
says Carlos.
My grandfather is a fisherman, and he always says that.
Everyone is quiet for a moment. Carlos is right, says Mrs. Sullivan quietly. You must never change the name of a boat. It's bad luck.
Oh, Liz, do you believe that?
Says Mr. Sullivan to his wife.
Well, I like the new name. Now, let's go to the Farallons.
They get on the boat and Mr. Sullivan goes into the cockpit. He turns on the motor and the boat slowly moves out of Marina Harbor. Kate, Mike, and Carlos stand on the deck. Lucky sits next to them.
Great,
says Carlos.
We're near Angel Island,
says Kate.
Gee,
says Carlos.
The seagulls are following our boat.
They're looking for something to eat,
says Mike.
I'm going to take a picture of the seagulls,
says Kate. They sail under the Golden Gate Bridge and enter the Pacific Ocean. The 3 friends go into the cockpit. They watch Mr. Sullivan drive the boat.
Is it difficult to drive a boat?
Asks Carlos.
No, it's not,
says Mr. Sullivan.
It's like driving a car, but there isn't any traffic. But you have to look at the map and the compass.
Soon the coast of California is far away.
We're near the Farallon Islands now,
says Mr. Sullivan.
We can stop here.
He takes his binoculars and looks at the birds on one of the islands.
This is wonderful,
he says.
There are a lot of different seabirds, even some pelicans. Here, guys, take these binoculars and look at the birds.
Then he opens a notebook and starts writing. At 6:30, everyone has dinner in the galley. After dinner, they play cards and then go to bed. Mike and Carlos fall asleep, but Kate can't sleep.
Tomorrow morning we're going to visit the Farallons.
She thinks.
I can take some great pictures and...
Suddenly, the air is very cold. She looks at the open door of the cabin. She sees someone at the door. A boy with a white t-shirt and blue jeans. His body and clothes are wet. His face is white, and he looks at her with his red eyes. Kate is terrified, and her heart beats fast.
He's a ghost!
She thinks. She sits up and screams. The ghost suddenly goes away. Mike and Carlos wake up.
What's wrong?
Asks Mike sleepily.
Oh, Mike, there's a ghost here!
Cries Kate.
A dead boy with red eyes!
You're dreaming, Kate.
Says Mike.
Wake up!
A ghost?
Says Carlos.
Where?
At the door!
Says Kate.
But he's not there now.
She gets up and slowly walks to the door.
Look! There's some water on the floor near the door.
Says Kate.
I'm not dreaming.